Hey, I'm glad to be back for chapter thoughts again. It's been a while. Sakushi gave us a ton this time. I'll be going over my thoughts on 68, 69, Side Story 5, and the volume extras, although most of the focus is going to be on the later two since most of the main chapters were just action. I won't go much into 67 here. I have a different video on that if you're interested, but I'm just going to keep this to the new stuff that we got. This one's going to be a lot less scripted than some of the other ones. I just want to go over like basic notes and stuff since a lot of this is going to be not as much analysis and more just pointing out interesting things. Starting with Side Story 5. The Star Compass coming back and also showing up a lot in the volume extras as well is interesting. I'm curious if it's connected to the pivotal ring. I have some thoughts later on that. Riko says that the ring seems to be protecting the compass and deciphering her notes on it. She said that the ring is like a seal for the compass. Might be hinting at the pivotal ring itself. We get, again, Riko bringing up her pure drive for adventure. She says that within the compass is adventure. And Kravalgi shows up again and says that the compass looks like the real thing and calls it a gazing window. I'm not sure if he means that the compass is supposed to show something or represent something, or if it's used as a window for something, but again, a lot of this is less analysis and more just theorizing, because this volume brings up a lot more questions than it does answers. He also says that relics find you when it's your time to find them. We saw this with Vueko and Riko, both finding and losing the star compass, not out of narrative coincidence, but more out of like the abyss itself probably bending fate as needed to draw them into their adventures. We've seen this a little bit with some of the other relics as well, but it's interesting to get more concrete stuff about that, especially since it was already known before that relics will just kind of pop up wherever. So it seems like the Abyss is definitely messing with stuff there. I have some stuff on the main chapters, nothing super crazy though, more just pointing things out. It seems like the ability of the twins is that they can, at least I read it, is like they can target parts of the body and destroy them. It seems like the reason that they were having issues with the new enemy is just because it's very inhuman. We get some more overt confirmation that Narahate are not immune to the 7th layer's curse. We knew that they weren't immune to most of the layer's curses, but I'm still not sure if that includes layer 6 or not. We never really saw an example of that happening. We get the return of Gun. The new enemy is cool. It has an ability to disguise itself, becoming a mystery. It seems like Sakushi's really tapping into the whole mystery element of Sarajo for this, even outside of her as a character, but just this whole arc is full of a lot of random mysteries and also wrapping up a lot of mysteries that we've had since very early on. The mechanics of this disguise ability are still unknown. It said that it can warp all human senses and even the force field to do this, and it seems like those like antiphase bubble things were a result of that. We also get to see Yadaramaru's power. He can convert his body into a weird gel substance. He can climb surfaces. He can grapple around like Rag can. He can like project it out, create a web, poison enemies. It's very flexible, but the limit of it putting a strain on his body physically, but also on his energy, I feel like is probably going to come up again. Either if Hail Hex and Hello Abyss fight the Shrine Maidens group, or if Hail Hex and Hello Abyss fight each other. I'm kind of thinking, honestly, both might happen. I do think at some point that Riko will probably have to backstab Sarajo and Hail Hex in order to get what she needs, in order to like keep continuing further. Sarajo also says that Yadaramaru is able to do this for more important parts of his body as well, but chooses not to and keeps it as a trump card, so we'll probably see this. This power might also explain why some parts of his body, especially his head, have the weird damage scarring look thing that we saw early on. We also get to see Halehex's like hyper-focused resolve stemming from their connection to Gutsu, as Yadarimar puts himself in a position that he can't ascend from to save Nanachi. Just like when Nishigoro chased down Tepeste, or Neozel tried to hold off the Umbra Hands to let the rest of Halehex go. They're all willing to sacrifice themselves or put themselves in extreme danger that they can't get out of in order to follow their like main singular goal without hesitating. And if you want more details on the value levels themselves, I put out a video not too long ago that went over all of them and went more in depth on the mental states of them and some of the symbolism behind each of them. Moving on to the extras, again, heavily emphasizing the star compass. Back in volume 8, the village elder called it the shape of essence. The essence, also sometimes called the essential part, was mentioned a few other times. One of the translations of the pivotal ring has also been the ring of the essence or ring of the essential part, and Reg's incinerator was referred to as the light of the essential part. Doni said that at the ring of the essential part, someone related to Reg will be found there. If this essential part is an essential part of the abyss, then maybe those like Reg are part of keeping the abyss the way that it is. I'm not sure if we'll see it at the end of this arc, since it doesn't seem like the Shrine Maiden herself is really connected to the essential part at all, and it might be setting up the following arc. Not sure, we'll see. Something interesting to note about the shape of the star in the compass is that it looks like the top areas of the abyss, like it gets wide and then shrinks down again in the same way that the abyss does, and it has the two little hitches near the top where the inverted forest is. I wonder if that's intentional or just coincidental, but it's the only part, or the only main part, of Vueko and Riko's compasses that are the same. The bottom for both of them is pretty different, but they're both like weird mechanical arrow things. It might be hinting towards greater explanation of what the essential part is. I don't have a lot to say yet on the new segments that we learn about the Song of the Hariomari. They describe the seventh layer for sure, but the segment about stars I don't understand yet. Stars were also mentioned in the Hymn of Grans, saying a gentle voice is calling you, a bunch of stars blanketing the night sky, bids farewell to the faraway nest, but this doesn't explain much yet. Outside of the descriptions of layers 6 and 7 and the sections about drawing people in and drawing souls in, the only parts I can decipher so far about the song as a whole are the sections about the breath being connected to the whole 2,000-year cycle, and the ones about eyes probably being about the force field watching everyone through their soul. Beyond that, though, it's way too early to tell. Again, a lot of questions, not enough answers. It seems like this volume was very much a transitionary volume between the setup sections from 11 and 12 into like the main like meat of the arc. We'll probably start getting a lot more answers as more characters and more information gets revealed as they go down. We see a new character, a Black Whistle, who is seen with someone who looks like one of the twins, probably is, but I'm not sure which one. And then we see a hand belonging to one of the twins before they lost their limbs, because it has the same weird eye symbol that both of them have on their ears when they're in their release form. They're reaching for what looks like that egg thing in the faraway nest. It seems like it has some animal-like thing inside of it, but beyond that, not sure. We've seen that a few other places, most notably in some relics. I think the main one is I don't remember if it's in the Cradles of Desire, but I know it's in that blue pendant thing that Riko had that Reg came up with. We see another new character talking to Grans about the Song of the Hariomari, saying that something will be rejected if the text isn't followed, that it, probably the Abyss, wants the Plan of Thieves. I'm not sure if this is either Tepeste's group Hail Hacks or Hello Abyss. But either way, it seems like the Abyss wants their plans to continue for whatever the Shrine Maiden's plan is, which, again, I assume this character is probably the Shrine Maiden. Grunz is probably the Delver who helped her write the song. I don't think it's the character that we saw before, the new Black Whistle, but it's possible. She questions why the drive for adventure pushes people along. It seems like she's going to be an opposite to what Wazakyan was, where Wazakyan had a lot of similarities to Riko. It seems like the Shrine Maiden is going to push back on a lot of what makes Riko Riko, is going to question that quite a bit. She's also holding what might be her white whistle. It's very shattered. It is in the shape of that nest egg thing that we saw before. Beyond that, though, I noticed a connection. I'd already compared the Juso to the Omen from Elden Ring. I know that Tsukushi has played Souls games and likes Souls games, and I know that Dark Souls was a big inspiration for some stuff in Made in Abyss. I was watching a video talking about Elden Ring and talking about the Omen not too long ago. They mentioned that in Shintoism, there's a practice to keep things that are unclean out of Shinto shrines. The video I was watching compared that a lot to the Omen and how the Omen were treated and how they were seen. And that made me think of this current arc with Hail Hex being very similar to Omen, being all Juso, being all taboo things, going up against Amiko, which is a Shinto shrine maiden. I don't know too much about Shintoism, so I can't really say more outside of I noticed this connection, but if anyone out there knows a lot more, please hit me up, please let me know. I'm curious if there is some foreshadowing or some deeper symbolism that I'm not catching yet due to not knowing much about Shintoism. But yeah, relatively short video, despite how long this volume was. A lot of this is just pointing things out for later or vague speculations, but very, very cool arc so far. But I'm very curious how the upcoming volumes are going to be. I will see you probably not super soon. Tsukushi is probably going to take quite a break after this, but whenever the next chapter is, I'll see you then. Bye.